When last heard from, paramedic Dale Carl had been in an ambulance on the way to the hospital, treating his 64-year-old father for an apparent heart attack. Dale's wife, Marie, waited at the hospital, unaware that his ambulance had been involved in a serious accident.
Hi, Alice.
Hi,
Has
Marie.
the ambulance come up yet?
No, they haven't arrived yet.
When I got into the emergency room, they had me start a chart out for Dad.
Do you know his date of birth?
Was that Median? There was a radio in the emergency room where I was standing, and I could tell that there was a very bad accident. And at that time, the fireman started running and said that it was very bad and that there was an ambulance involved and that it had rolled over.
Thank you.
Was that Dale?
It was Dale's ambulance. They're sending another ambulance out, Marie.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it. It shook me up. I thought for sure that they were dead. All I could do was put my head down on the counter before I passed out.
Randy, you all right?
I wasn't doing too bad, but my leg had become wedged under the seat.
Station 43. We're involved in a 1050 rollover.
I could hear Dale in the back screaming his father's name. He wasn't getting any response.
You all right?
I was honestly afraid that he had arrested, that he had died.
You okay? Oh.
It took me a couple of seconds to realize what had happened. I had a tremendous amount of pain in my right shoulder.
You okay? Yeah, it's Mark. No big deal.
Dad was laying on his side, being suspended in air by the straps from the gurney. His IV had come out. He's just bleeding all over creation from that. I had to dig around in the rubble and find Dad's IV, and I grabbed some alcohol and cleaned it and plugged it back in.
All right, hang with me. We'll get you out of here. Oh. Hang with me.
Asked him again, how you doing? How's the chest pain? He was so short of breath he couldn't talk to me. His condition was getting worse.
Within 4 minutes, South Bend Fire Department paramedic Tom Kowalski and his partner pulled up to the scene of the crash.
My concerns were many at this point. I knew we had an unstable cardiac patient who may have been further compromised by the addition of traumatic injuries.
On scene, we had a lot of chest pain, mid-sternum running up to his neck, down his arm.
And that Dale, in being so focused on his father's care, may have been ignoring his own potential injuries. Nice and easy, guys.
You in there, Tommy?
Okay, here we go.
They looked at me and said, Dale, why don't you go in with one of the other rigs? We'll take care of your dad. And I said, no. I started care. I'm finishing care.
How we doing, Mr. Carl?
I said, this is my dad. I'm going in with him as long as I'm physically able.
Robert Carl's vital signs were dangerously high when he was admitted to South Bend Memorial Hospital and examined by Dr. Joseph Lee.
He looked awful. He looked very diaphoretic, very uncomfortable. He was in critical condition at that point. We knew we had to act fairly quickly to get him stabilized.
Squeeze my fingers here.
I was relieved. I felt as though a tremendous burden had been taken from me, and now he was in someone else's hands.
Tests revealed that Robert Carl's heart attack was caused by blockage in 4 major arteries. The following afternoon, he underwent quadruple bypass surgery.
I remember sitting in his room with him as they were prepping him for surgery. I remember telling him that I wasn't ready to be the man of the family yet. That he'd better make it. He assured me he would.
Two years after his successful bypass, he is doing fine.
It took a while to recover from the surgery, but since then, I've been doing well, I think. I have a little shortness of breath problem, but hey, I can live with that. What the word you got?
Happy birthday
to you. I guess I look at life a little differently today. I feel like I'm living on borrowed time now. God has granted me a longer period of time, and I feel that he has something that he wants me to do yet. Well, since it's only 2, I think I can handle that. If it was all of them, I doubt if I could. Well, thank you.
Dale and Dad and Randy were almost killed because someone was in a hurry.
I still think I was the windiest because I blew it the farthest.
I think the most important thing that people need to remember is that when you hear a siren or you see the lights, to pull over. The one thing that gets me to pull over is it may be my family member in there, and I want them to get to the hospital as quickly as possible.
I thank God that we can joke about it now and we say that we're just 2 old country boys that took a whooping.